not audited by the internal auditor. Again, I'm sure this was impressed. No acquittance. Chair, another payment voucher. On 20th June 2022, I'm sure. Yeah. Payment 1,925 kwacha, being payment made to purchase refreshments for audit committee meeting. This is audit committee meeting. It's a council meeting, nothing to do with CDF. Again, this payment voucher, not audited, and no acquittal. Again, the next voucher on the same appendix, almost all the voucher, the next voucher, it is a blared voucher. You can't see anything there. I don't know, it was by design or by coincidence that you gave us this. Again, it's the same. So my question, Chair, why has the internal auditor not approved these payments? Okay. Is it because she observed that they were irregular, or it was by design that you should skip the internal audit to check on this particular payment? Chair, I can pause there for the meantime.
Council Secretary, hope you have taken note of all the questions.
I've
yes,
taken,
please.
Chair. My colleagues will assist where I missed one.
You are free. Yeah, you are free to ask your colleagues to help you.
Okay, Chair. I've taken note, Chair, where I'll leave out one or two. My colleagues will supplement. Chair, I'll start with a query from the Honorable here on when I was aware that the practice of using imprest was wrong and irregular. Chair, I admit that we did wrong here. We did not follow procedure. And I'm aware that the use of imprest cash to procure items that are readily available in the market and prices can be ascertained is irregular. Chair, like we responded earlier in our report, we are in a rural setting, and the business undertaking for the local authority, which is part of the community, should also benefit the locals. We need to support them. The fact that they may not have bank accounts and they may not have certain details that qualify to us to transact with them using checks and transfers do not exclude them from benefiting from council transactions. On that one, Chair, I admit we transacted with them, and the nature also of the activity was urgent. We thought that we support our locals by buying from them, which, Chair, we have mitigated by sensitizing them to open bank accounts and formalizing their businesses. On the issue of the 11,375, Chair, the query includes the 2,000, which the other voucher for 2,400. The two amounts, the 11 was added together by the auditor to arrive at 13,775. On the acquittals, Chair, on the audit, the question from Honorable Nyambose, Chair, the voucher was audited, as you can see. There's an audit here. It may be faint, but the auditor audited, the assistant auditor audited the payment. The first voucher, if you look at it properly, Chair, in the corner here, the 1925, there is a signature for the auditor here. And in terms of audit, Chair, there are two procedures of audit. There is the internal, there is pre-auditing and post-auditing. The auditor can choose, Chair, to do pre-auditing or post-audit the payment after the payment is made. All those, Chair, are in the audit procedures. I submit, Chair.
A follow-up. Town clerk, I will come back, I'll refer back to the 11,375 voucher. Do you agree that this is impressed?
Yes, I agree, Honorable.
And the imprest is paid to one of your officers to facilitate those things that you have mentioned by procuring small things that whose value cannot be ascertained.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. First chair, the council secretary is trying to justify that I would rather break the law than sensitize the people to open bank accounts later. Chair, if I was a council secretary, what I could have done, knowing that this meeting was an important meeting, I could have written to the PROGO seeking permission to use the imprest system to facilitate for the meeting before I commit, because an imprest is an imprest. You cannot first break the regulation, then say no because we want to support the locals. That does not stand. Second chair, this payment voucher is referring to of 11,375. An officer who goes to procure these things is supposed to acquit, is within, and the imprest is retired within 48 hours after payment. That is the standard of an imprest. I think I still remember. Things have not changed. But you, up to now, up to the time of audit, this chair has not been retired to me. Acquittal is part of retirement. Then he refers to 2,400, I referred later, chair, I referred earlier. A payment to audit committee. I thought we were looking at the CDF committee. An audit committee is a council committee. What were they auditing? Auditing CDF? The narration on that voucher, as long as I understand, it is saying payment to audit committee, that's SAT. So can you explain the audit committee doing in the CDF arrangement? Thank you, Chair.
Council Secretary.
Chair, the payment for 1,925 to refreshments for the audit committee was to show this committee chair that now your council has started paying through checks. That is the main reason, Chair, why we have attached the voucher, is to affirm that we have moved from the practice of paying using imprest. We are now paying using checks. Then, Chair,
Yes. Go ahead, Council Secretary.
I wanted to comment further on the acquittal. Chair, there is an acquittal sheet attached where the officer signed for receiving the imprest and also a receipt to show that the money was paid. They are attached, Chair. There is also imprest retirement form that is attached, Chair.
Thank you very much, Chair. CS, this was an irregular use of accountable imprest. And the first question that I had to ask was, did the internal auditor also participate in this irregular use of accountable imprest? We want to get the comment from the internal auditor to know if he or she participated also. If she participated, what was the comment? I submit, Chair.
Thank you. Internal auditor? Any comment from you?
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. As internal audit unit, we participated on this payment, and Chair, we accept that the payment, it was irregular. We're looking at the agents of the launching of the empowerment funds. That's what stated the internal audit unit also to participate. We signed the payment as internal audit unit. I submit, Chair.
Honorable members, I think maybe in the interest of time, yeah, I'll come back. CS admitted that yes, this was an irregularity in the first place, and he gave justification. One, the lack of banking facilities. Two, the urgency of the activity that they wanted to undertake. And we are giving a benefit of doubt on that, and he has further justified that now they have started using the facilities to do their transactions. We hope we have moved away from that, CS, and the two reasons that you have advanced seemingly they hold a bit, not very much. An irregularity is an irregularity, but we are saying that should not have happened, but it has happened due to the reasons you have advanced, and we want to move away from that with a caution that it should not be that way. Yes.
I want to take the attention of the management. This money of 13,000 impressed was used for the launch of the CDF empowerment grants for 2022. It was urgent and you needed to do that. For the purpose of the launch of the CDF empowerment grants, we agree, Chair, I underline. Looking at the payment vouchers, the 11,000 speaks to the launch. The other voucher for the technical appraisal committee does not speak to the launch, 2,400. The other voucher, the other payment of 1,900 for the audit committee, which is a council committee, does not speak to the launch. These are different dates, different meetings, meaning that they are using CDF to undertake meetings which are council meetings. I want to caution you, that shouldn't be the case. If you had justified this entire 13,000 or these other payments to the launch of the CDF empowerment grants, it would suffice. Do not use CDF to have your audit committees. The council generates its own money to do those meetings. Whether you are discussing CDF, even when you are calling for full council, there will be reports of CDF in the full council. You cannot use CDF funds to call for a full council meeting. I submit, Chair.
Thank you.
So the last one on
Yes,
just a
anyone
comment.
else?
Chair, also, if this committee admits that this was urgent, again, I feel uncomfortable because it's the council who plans when they would want to launch that particular activity. And when you plan, you also plan how you are going to use funds. When you say urgent, it means you never planned, something just came, which you didn't plan. Somebody was planning somewhere else. So who announced the date that we are going to have a launch of these grants? Was it your management or somebody else which wasn't within your management? So this reason also, Chair, you find that it's not tallying with what is going. I submit.
I hear you, Honorable Simumba, clear, loud and clear, but at the back of my mind, I'm thinking that the ministry delayed in communicating, and by the time the circular from the ministry was coming through in guiding for the grants and loans, the launch, it delayed, and these had no time. I'm just trying, I'm not defending your council secretary. I'm not part of management, but I'm just trying to think aloud that like everyone else, I think the communication that came from the ministry was a bit late, and that activity, indeed, every council was supposed to be up and running. Honorable Singombe.
Chair, I'm very grateful. I'm on page 3.
Page 3, honorable members. Of the
Arising from failure to spend funds amounting to 20 million. Okay. Now, on the action taken, CS is saying that out of the 51 projects which were under implementation, 48 projects were completed and commissioned as at 31st December 2023. Only 2, one is ongoing and 1 under procurement. Chair, my question that arises from this statement is, which project is under procurement and how long has it taken? And in percentage terms, to what extent is procurement an obstacle to early execution of projects in Pemba district? Thank you so much.
On the same, Honorable Smumba.
Thank you, Chair. On the same, when you look at failure to spend on this table, you have stated to say out of 51 projects, 48 projects were completed. Check on this table, you are saying the number of projects completed, there are 31, contrary to what you are reporting on top. Again, the number of works in progress, projects, Chair, there are 19. So, again, number of outstanding projects, there are 3. There, they have only reported to say only 1 is under procurement. Maybe any comment between this table and the action, the information that you have given us on the action taken. Chair, I submit.
Thank you. Those 2 questions, Council Secretary.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll start with the query from the Honorable for Ndumweze. The project, Chair, that is under procurement is in Namuvira Bridge. Chair, the project has delayed because of retendering. We advertised the project twice. The 3rd time, all the bidders were not qualifying.
The first time, they are not qualifying?
Yes. The second one, the third one, the one who qualified quoted a higher amount. So this is what has caused the delay. We are happy also to report that at least the CDF committee, through the ministry, have allocated the extra funds. We are re-advertising the project so that quality works can be done. The delay, Chair, has been the companies that have been coming through to participate in these works, they've not been qualifying.
Okay, maybe before you come in, honorable members, let's allow him to exhaust all the questions. Please go ahead.
Okay. On the second question from the Honorable here, Chair, the table that is here was prepared by the auditors. This is the breakdown to the query submitted by the auditors, and that is what we are referring to ourselves. In terms of number of projects completed, that is a report of the auditor. we responded to the outstanding, the 19 and also the 3 that I highlighted in the report. I submit, Chair.
Okay. Yes, sir. And the Honorable Dr. Mwanza as well.
Chair, I'm grateful. When you look at page 1 on irregular use of accountable interest, the council secretary indicated that he knew, but he went ahead because he wanted to empower the local people. Now, I wanted to know what disqualified those who had intended to work on that bridge, bearing in mind that as a local authority, you are trying to ensure that the local people benefit from their own resources allocated to them. Also indicate to me and to the committee whether all the people who had bidded were local. Thank you. Or not.
Council Secretary, those two.
Chair, as a local authority, we operate under procedures, and what we want ourselves is to see quality works done. Projects that will stand the test of time. As we assess the companies that bid, we also look at companies that will give us quality works so that the people can enjoy the services that the government is able to provide. One of the procedures to assess, this is why there's technical evaluation, where we group experts that look at the nature of work, the requirements of the work, do the assessments. And these are the people that I rely on as principal officer.
Yes,
And if in their report they indicate that those that have submitted do not qualify, that means according to their technical assessment, those have not qualified. Chair, further to that, we have tried as a local authority to ensure that our locals also participate. The engineer may come in, Chair, if you allow, to provide technical information as to what we are looking for due to the nature of works that were required. I submit, Chair.
Director of Works.
As the director is coming in to supplement the answer from the council secretary. CS, maybe my other concern in line with your response is that you are saying what has delayed is as a result of people not qualifying to take up that particular bridge because you're looking at quality works. First time, second time, and now you are doing it. I'm saying third time. Why didn't you, after the first time, why didn't you allow people from Dundumwezi also to participate? Because as a district, you could not find people who were suitable looking at your specs, looking at what you wanted done. Why should you continue re-advertising? Suppose the third time no one qualifies. Are you going to disadvantage the people who are supposed to use the Namubira bridge? And for how long will Pemba disadvantage the people of Pemba?
Chair, to order to what Honorable Member for Dundumwezi has indicated. Chair, I'm extremely disappointed. The council secretary says we are a system that follows regulation in terms of the procurement of the bridge. He is emphasizing following regulation. Our president has indicated that if you can't get the locals, get within the province or surrounding districts. But this delay has affected the people of Pemba because he is insisting that his duty in Pemba is to empower the locals. A very good thinking, but he's depriving the bigger family of a facility. Second, Chair, I've not rested on the issue of the impress, Chair. This side, on the other hand, he says, following the regulation. On the impress, he justifies that I want to empower the locals. It was important for me to overlook what are we telling the auditors, what are we telling the regulation. And he indicated clearly, Chair, a local government system or government system is a regulated system. And these regulations, Chair, are put for a purpose to safeguard resources. But he says, no, for me, I didn't need clearance from anyone. I did this. So, Chairperson, the question is, why hasn't he gone to the surrounding districts or within the province to source for expert contractors who can undertake this project so that the people... Dundumwezi, yes. And he has got experts in Dundumwezi, Kalomo, Monze. Why not give them an opportunity so that this facility can be delivered on time? He's keeping money in the accounts, and this is what is bringing the burn rate. And the MP, his name is at stake. Keeping the money because him is taking time, doing whatever he feels like doing.
Thank you very much. Council Secretary, no, he has a lot of questions. Let him respond. Please restrict your response to him. Honorable Simombe.
Oh, okay. Chair, I've taken note of the concerns and submissions from the Honorable. I wish to report, Chair, that we have allowed other companies from the neighboring districts to participate in the procurement and also undertaking of works in Pemba. And Chair...
Are you confirming that this particular one is the contractors from outside the district?
Chair, it is very difficult for me. When we advertise works, Chair, it's difficult for us to start...
You haven't given the contract to somebody yet?
No, Chair.
Okay,
what I'm saying, Chair, is that we make available works for the companies to tender. It's difficult for me to say this one you come and tender. It's up to the company to generate interest, looking at the nature of works, whether they have capacity and the competence. Chair, I think we have made progress, Chair. With the additional funds that have been provided to the works, we are going to advertise. And if our able companies in Dundumwezi are able to tender and do qualifications, we are going to give them an opportunity, Chair. I submit.
Thank you. Honorable Mwanza, then Honorable Mwene.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. What is the justification for adding additional funds to this particular bridge? And how do you relate the construction of this bridge to the climate? Looking at the difficulties of finding contractors in that area, so you might, because we're now in the rain season, so do you plan to go ahead to procure this project during this rain season? And if not, what impact is it going to cause on the people's livelihood?
Thank you. Honorable Mwene.
Thank you so much, Chair. Yes, I would like to take it to page...
I thought it's on the same. Then let's finish that one.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe I would want to find out how much they have reserved for this particular project. Maybe, Chair, you may find that they have under budgeted. That's why we are seeing no any bidder.
Secretary, you can allow Director of Works to give us the responses.
I'll come in, Chair, and then he
No,
can
it's
come
fine.
in where. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you. I appreciate the question from the Honorable. Justification, Chair, like the Honorable has said, the works and also the time that we are in due to climate change, we feel that quality works need to be done. And looking at in the last advert, the one who had qualified bidded a higher amount than actually what was budgeted. And when we looked at the works that are required and the chemical the engineer will come in, we feel that additional works will allow us to provide a bridge that will stand the test of time, and also a bridge that people are going to appreciate and serve our people well. On climate change, on the Chair, we could have advertised by now, but we are looking at the area where the bridge will be set. It is inaccessible this time. So we are delaying a bit so that we allow the, I think, the ground to dry a bit. We'll proceed with a procurement process, but for accessibility, we may have a challenge now. On the amount, Chair, the amount that was budgeted for was 1 million. And additional funds that have been provided from the CDF is 500,000. The total is coming to 1.5. We feel, I think this amount may be adequate to undertake the works. I submit, Chair.
Honorable Mwanza.
You have not yet advertised this project, and now you are disclosing the budget. Do you know that we are live on TV, and the contractors have heard the budget for this particular bridge? Are you in order to disclose the budget for this bridge when it is going for tender in few months?
Yes.
Chair, I think we are talking of 2022 CDF. And I'm sure my brother, Member of Parliament for Pemba, the people there, they're even insulting him for not delivering this bridge from 2022. I'm sure even when he was campaigning, he was pointing at a certain area that here there will be a bridge. 2022, 2023, we are in 2024. That's when you are thinking of why are you depriving the people? Why can't you really look for another contractor from the nearby district, as we have stated? Because when you strict yourself within, you want to follow the regulations on this one. In other issues, you are not following regulations because it was the matter of urgency. Don't you think even this bridge is a matter of urgency? Chair, I submit.
Thank you very much. Council Secretary, a comment. We move to another question.
Chair, on the disclosure of the amount, I understand very well, but I'm under oath here, and I was asked a question to quote the budgeted amount.
Thank you. Thank you.
Professionally, you can be asked that question.
Honorable
You
Mwanza.
should be able to explain that you are not going to disclose.
All right. Honorable.
Thank you so much, Chair.
Honorable Mwene.
Thank you so much, Chair. CS, I'd like to take it to page 5, Appendix 9.2, bursary, secondary school boarding and skills development. Failure to report. You can see you had about on that table you had about 8 students that did not report, and in your response you are stating on page 6 that These learners could not report due to various reasons like teenage pregnancy and abscondment. Now, you have also stated that you as CS or member council wrote to Jembo Secondary School indicating that you needed a refund of a similar amount for these 8 learners, that is equivalent to 38,400 kwacha. Now, CS, my question is, why did you have to take that long for you to write to Jembo Secondary School? Because this was in 2022. You were only able to write the letter requesting for a refund on 20th of June 2023. According to your appendix here, it's 20th of June 2023. Why did you have to take that long? And secondly, because actually you want this money, Jembo responded that they will be able to pay back in 2024. Now you can see 1 year has lapsed in between without the money being utilized for its intended purpose. And then secondly, what measures have you put in place to recover funds for pupils who failed to report to school? What measures have you put in place to recover the funds as quickly as possible for the learners that fail to report at school? I submit, Chair.
Secretary.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, our response, normally when we provide funding to the schools, we give them time, and Jembo Secondary School communicated in June to us. And if you assess the reasons given, Chair, it looks like the pupils reported. Then during the course of their learning, they started, I think, absconding, others to other reasons, pregnancy, teenage pregnancies, and abscondment from the school. In terms of the feedback that we got after we provided the funding was that the pupils reported initially. Then in the long run, as the school calendar progressed, they started falling out. And when we did a monitoring, Chair, we discovered that certain pupils were not in class. And we took the school to task, and school corresponded to us, wrote to us, indicating that 8 pupils are not in school. Then we requested them to refund the CDF account or the council for the 8 pupils that were not in school. The response that we got from the school chair is what is attached. The head teacher wrote to us that you consider the amount equivalent in 2024. We will still have pupils that are going back, returning students. We will still recover the cost of the 8 pupils from the funding for 2024 as they return, because we have returning students that are going back to school. I submit, Chair.
Honorable Singombe.
Thank you very
Chair.
much, Chair.
Yes. Sorry. Honorable Singombe, hold on.
Apparently, that was my question also. At which point did you do verification? I hear you tell this committee that the school told you that certain pupils were not there. And you went further to say that from the look of things, these pupils had reported. Did you do a head count before making payment of this 38,000 kwacha, so that you were aware of how many you had paid for, and like waiting for the school to tell you? What did you do? What was the justification for the payment earlier? Because you did it looks like you did monitoring after. Did you do due diligence in terms of before payment to the school?
Council Secretary?
Chair, our payments to schools are based on the invoices. Normally what we do is we write all the schools to submit invoices to us. They submit invoices and the payments that we make are based on the invoices. The invoices, there is a list that is attached of all students that are in school. We normally don't just pay until we receive the invoice from the school. Chair,
I think, Council Secretary, that's a wrong procedure of payments. You are not supposed to do that. I think there is a guidance coming from the ministry that requires you to verify. Because if I bring an invoice, there is a famous place in Lusaka called Matero. If I get an invoice from Matero, you pay. Isn't it? Isn't it you pay? Because it's an invoice. So wouldn't you pay? You'd pay. But at the end of the day, we realize that invoice is from Matero. The best practice, like the ministry guided, is that once the schools are opened and taking interest, listen carefully, auditor. Once schools open, or I will start the process. The process is that when you want to send those students to Jembo, of course, the WDC will do everything, and then the list will be generated by CDF committee with the presence of the member of parliament. That list is produced. Once the list is produced, now it comes to you. You have the list, you have the letters of acceptance letters and the list there. Then you allow the students to go to school. They open 2 weeks into a term. That's when you go to the school. Go and verify the register, that what is on the list from the council is what is on the register. That is 2 weeks into a term. And based on that, and probably head counting, based on that, then there is the invoice is generated at that time, not before. At that time, because then you realize that these students, even when you come before this committee, you produce the register that yes, we paid, because when we went to the institution, we found this is the register, and meaning those students were in class. And that's when you pay, not an invoice from anywhere, and then you go ahead and pay. That is a wrong procedure or a shortcut, which is unacceptable before the committee. So I think you are guided on that one. Honorable Simambe.
My last question, Chair, arises from page 3. CS.
Members, as we conclude.
CS, most of the local authorities that came before you are delayed in the disbursement of soft loans, citing delayed guidelines from government. Could we have also faced the same challenge at Pemba? If we did, I'm sure you were also told that loans component was supposed to have deposited into revolving fund account, which account earns some degree of interest at the end of the day. Did you earn any interest in that account due to the delayments by government to give you guidelines? And if you did, how much? And if you did, where is that money? Where is it sitting and for what purposes? Thank you, Chairperson.
Council Secretary.
Thank you very much, Chair. And thank you for the question, Chair. Yes, there was a delay in the allocation of banks. The ministry was supposed to allocate banks to us that are supposed to manage the loan component. There was a delay. The allocation came later. But immediately the allocation came, we swung into action. The amount, Chair, in terms of gaining interest, because the funds were still sitting in the main CDF account by then, we had not proceeded to because the bank was not identified at that time. Until the ministry provided guidance, there were 5 banks, and NATSEV seemed to have a low percentage in terms of interest. And I think we went for that because the amount of interest was a bit low. So in terms of interest, Chair, the funds were still sitting in the main CDF account. By then, we had not been guided on which bank we'll be dealing with. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. Pemba, I want to appreciate your appearance before this committee, and we want to urge you to put your house in order. Make sure that you see the gaps that are emerging. More importantly, the crossing point that members have raised a lot of concerns because of the period it has taken. We would appreciate the submissions that you are making, the justification that you are making, but those are not satisfactory before this committee because, like everybody else has indicated, you had an opportunity to immediately sort, other contractors from other districts, which took you to this period where 2024 we are still looking for the contractor. We are hoping very much that with the increased funds on the same project, you'll be able to procure the contractor as soon as possible and allow our communities enjoy the facility. Like my colleagues have indicated, the Member of Parliament is under pressure, and if that thing is not done to them, they don't understand these procedures or wherever you're getting the contractor. What they are saying is that there is money for CDF, the MP is not working. You can imagine. We are drawn into these things that we don't even participate because that's purely management. Once we allocate funds, ours is to appropriate funds. And the implementation, monitoring, and everything is done by you. We want to make sure that the right thing is being done. When the constituents fails on that banning rate, wherever it comes from, the name that is put there is not Mr. Chirombo. It's Honorable Amwata, meaning he's the one that has not performed yet. He's got his team on the ground that are supposed to do wonders. So we urge you to coordinate and make sure we do the right thing. The President has been emphasizing on those points that you are all well aware of. The time frame, the quality works, value for money, all those things are supposed to be in your office and in your management. At this point, allow me to withdraw the immunity that was conferred on you at the beginning of our interaction and allow you to go back to Pemba and work hard. By the way, I know I've withdrawn it. Have you started building your own civic center, not in a post office there?
Chair, we started building the civic center in 2020, toward the end of 2022, just behind our offices there. There's land that was left idle. I think when I went in, we identified that land and started constructing the civic center. We are at 65%, going to 70% by now. Our plan is that by April, we should be done. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Please, we wish you the best. Have a nice day. You're free to leave. Sorry, I did.
Parliament TV, bringing Parliament closer to you.
My name's Jacqueline Sabao, Member of Parliament for Chikankata constituency in the Southern Province of Zambia. I was born on 29th September 1975 in Kafiwe. I started my school in Chikankata at Kavo Secondary School now in Chief Naluama area. Later, I went to Nakatete Primary School because my parents were living in Kafiwe. And then my secondary school, I was at Naboe Secondary School in Kafiwe. Then I went to do my accounts at Ivarin Horn College. Later, I went to the university to do my undergraduate in development studies. And then I did my master's in public administration at Lusaka University. However, I also worked, my first employment was with MS Zambia, where I was a programs officer. Then I went to COMESA headquarters as a programs officer under the youth department. From there, I also did a lot of research. There was a program under the University of Zambia Development Studies Department where we had a research program sponsored by Copenhagen University of Denmark. I was a researcher there. Later in years, I thought of starting my own business, a company business called Just Investment Limited. We deal in construction and general supply. I'm the director of that company. I am married and I have 3 children, all boys. Chikankata constituency is a Lolo constituency, and as we all know, it was given the status of a district in 2013 under the leadership of the late President Mr. Michael Sata. And Chikankata is an agriculture area. However, we have a lot of challenges as a district because being an agriculture area, the most challenge we have is the road network. It's very difficult for our people to take their products to the market because of the poor road network. And then the other thing is that our people, they depend on livestock. But at the moment also, the other challenge we have is the issue of the diseases. As we all know, in the past years, Ministry of Livestock, they are not employing extension officers. Hence, our people, they don't have the information on how to take care of their livestock. And around 1989, a lot of our animals died. And hence, the levels of poverty went high in Chikankata, and our people started charcoal burning, which has also affected the environment. At the moment, Chikankata is one of the constituencies that have been hit by the climatic change because of lack of trees, meaning it has also affected the land pattern in our area. So especially the northern side, Chief Nalwama, the rain pattern there is not good, but on the other side, it's fine. But like I've said earlier on, the issue of the road network at the moment is poor, and it has really affected our agriculture activities, which is the main source of income for the people of Chikankata. With the coming of CDF, as a district, we've put up a lot of developmental programs. Like I said earlier on, that it's a new district, meaning we need to come up with projects that will change the face of Chikankata. First and foremost, we need to look at the geographic setup of Chikankata. Chikankata is a district which is like 2-in-1, having 2 chiefdoms, and it has 14 wards, and each chiefdom has 7 wards. Meaning, as you are planning, you are supposed to balance the two so that you are not seen to be like you are one-sided. Naturally, as human beings, they would think, no, maybe she's concentrating much on where she's coming. However, where I'm coming from, this area, Chief Nalwam, we don't have a lot of infrastructure development, but on the other side, we are lucky that the missionaries came, those who built Chikankata Mission. So that side we have Chikankata Hospital, which is one of the biggest hospitals in this country. We also have Chikankata Secondary School, which is a boarding school, and we also have a biomedical university, which was opened recently, and other activities there. And even when you look at the population, that's where the highest population is in Chikankata. But the other side also, we are also like as people of Chikankata, we are the one hosting the biggest dam in Zambia, meaning that the main source of energy in this country comes from Chikankata, the Kafue Gorge Dam. And at the moment, we also have the one which is under construction and almost completing is the Sino Hydro. But however, As a people of Chikankata, we have not benefited from this dam, which, as area of member of parliament, I'm trying to negotiate with DESCO to see how they can pay back to this community, having this dam, which is very expensive, sitting on our constituents. How do we benefit? 80% of Chikankata doesn't have electricity. We are not connected to the grid, but we are the people supplying the country and the region. So as a member of parliament, what we've done under the CDF, for instance, 2021, one of the major projects that we came up were 4 projects, which is the extending one of the secondary school to a boarding school called Chikani Secondary School. It will be a boarding school. And you know, when a school is a boarding school, it means you are not just targeting the local pupils. We are also looking at those coming outside the district, meaning the economic activities of that area will change, because a lot of people will come, and with the coming of free education and also the bursary being paid under CDF, meaning that money from other constituencies will come to this school, and it will change the activities, the economic activities of this area. And other things we looked at for 2022 is the issue of desks. We've heard the pronouncements by the president saying that he doesn't want any Zambian child to sit on the floor. So as Chikankata, under the 2022 budget, we allocated a 1 million kwacha to buy desks, and when we did the BOQ, we came up with 1,000 desks, which will be shared equally across the district. In Chikankata, we only had one shade that was receiving the FISIP from our suppliers, but under the CDF, we've also allocated some money to construct one of the biggest sheds in Chikankata, and on the other side, that is under Chief Nalwama, that's at Nasenga. And then the other money we allocated to a clinic in Upper Kalea. And then we also have 24 projects in the wards. Those are like a 1x3 classroom blocks, some boreholes, and also other activities. But however, coming to the 2023, we are looking big, because you know 2021 was like a pilot project for all of us. We were learning a lot, even at government level, at constituency level, even the local authority. They were learning a lot. But from the 2022, the way we operated, we've learned a lot, meaning going forward, we'll do better. My dream as a member of parliament is that come 2026, there must be change in Chikankata. People should see that the past 5 years, we had a member of parliament who had the love for this constituents. And I want the people of Chikankata, and even those outside Chikankata, to benefit of what we put in as a team under the CDF fund. My word to the people of Chikankata is that the role of government is not to give handouts, but to facilitate the well-being of its people. Hence, with these opportunities under the CDF, we have the grants, we have the loans. People should work together. What is important, what I tell especially the young people and the women, is that as an individual, think within your space, what can I do as an individual? What is it that I want? First, before you think of other people, answer that question that, as me, Jacqueline, this is what I want for my life. Then, what is available within my space? At the moment, we have a caring government that have given equal opportunities depending on what you want. If you want to go back to school, you'll still go back to school. If you want to do business, you'll still go back to business. If you want to work, you work. At the moment, there have been a lot of recruitment. As we are talking right now, we are still waiting for the list to come out of recruitment, especially in the defense wing, meaning that the government is offering the opportunities to all Zambians, but it's up to an individual to identify what you want. It's not the government to tell you what you should do, but you as an individual step forward and say, this is what I want, and work around what you want. What is important as a people of Chikankata is that the most important thing for a district to develop or a country to develop, the people around that area, they should love one another. There must be unit, so that you put your heads together and come up with projects that will help your people.
On the Vice President's question time.
Questions for oral answer, understanding order number 76. a matter to be admitted, it has to be of recent occurrence.
Continue watching Parliament TV, a channel dedicated to bring Parliament closer to you.
Well, I'm a self-motivated person. I don't need to be pushed. Yeah, and I'm a self-starter. My grade 1, I did it at Misoro Primary School. Then grade 8 at Petauke Day. Then 12 at Petauke Boarding Secondary School. That was way back in 1994. My tertiary education, I've done my first degree with Rusank University in business administration, specialized in human resource management. Our family, we are a family of 7, although one sister died. Mom died. We are just with my dad. My core business was I'm a businessman. I run transport, I run lodges, I run transport, and I'm into construction. I joined politics in 1991 because it was in me. During school, I used to be a very good one of those who could do debate and what. So I started politics in 1991. I'm an elder in the SDA church, and I do go to church, and then I do watch soccer, and I read novels. I represent Msanzara constituency in the Eastern Province. First thing is we want to make sure that our people are united, and you know, with this new bursaries that has come in for free education, we want at least all our people to go back to school. Those who went astray, those who went for early marriages, we want them back into schools, and we want good road infrastructure, we want good health infrastructure, and to improve on the livelihood of our people. You know, our constituency is a rural constituency where even water is a problem. So we really make sure to say part of the CDF we utilize it to drill boreholes, and then some part of that money we use it also for aquaculture, like creation of dams. All those are part of the things that we want to empower our people in Msanzara constituency.
Well, my name's Honorable Tyson Sumuzingiri, Member of Parliament for Gwembe, born some 60 years ago, born and bred in Gwembe. Went to school at Sinafala Primary School in Gwembe. Thereafter, I went to Rusangu Secondary School in Monze. For tertiary, I went to Evelyn Horn, where I did physiotherapy, and furthered my education to University of Western Cape, where I obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in physiotherapy. Further, I improved my education credentials and got a master's in human resource. Basically, my profession, I would say I'm an assessment and qualifications expert. As more my working experience, I started with UTH as a physiotherapist, where I worked briefly and joined the education sector with the Examinations Council of Zambia, where I spent 14 years moved to Teveta, where I spent 10 years. I had a stint at Zika, where I worked for 2 years. And finally, I joined the Zambia Qualifications Authority as one of the pioneers in the establishment of the Qualifications Authority. And finally, I retired in November 2020 and joined active politics. I am married to a very beautiful wife, Mutinta Siawengo Simuzingiri. With her, we have 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls. Gwembe is in Southern Province, in the valley. It is a constituency endowed with a lot of resources, but very highly underdeveloped because of basically the road network, which does not attract investors. It is a constituency that lies along the Lake Kariba with very, very good sceneries for investments. Gwembe is highly underdeveloped. Our priority as our agenda for the constituents is that we want to work on the road network because all our feeder roads are in deplorable state, and our main trunk road, which is Gwembe Munyumbwe Pepo Road, if it's in the rainy season, it becomes even impassable. So the agenda is really to do the road network in Gwembe. And what have we done? We have already submitted and approved for us to buy earth-moving equipment. So far, before end of December, we may receive 4 earth-moving equipment, and once we get them, we'll get into doing our roads. So agenda number 1 really for Gwembe is the road network. Water and sanitation is another issue where we have consistent animal-human conflict along the lake. A lot of our people are beaten and killed by crocodiles. So we intend to buy a rig or a borehole drilling machine so that we are able to drill as many boreholes so that our people do not rely on lake water because they will be confronting with the crocodiles. On health, our intention and agenda is to ensure that in each and every ward we should have a health post. On the education sector, we have a number of community schools which are grass-thatched. Our agenda is to ensure that by 2025, basically by 2026, we should be able to build better schools so that we get rid or remove all these grass-thatched community schools. We have the aspect of mining, where in Gwembe there's plenty of coal, there's gas and oil. So we would like to enhance exploration so that with the improved road network, we are very, very positive that will attract investors that will start operating mines in Gwembe. Tourism is yet another aspect in Gwembe. When you look at the lake shores, it's all tourism attractions. We have an abandoned Kota Kota Ranch. We are making efforts to ensure that Kota Kota Ranch can be restocked with animals so that we can attract tourists coming into Gwembe. My people in Gwembe, be rest assured that the New Dawn government cares for the people of Gwembe. The New Dawn government has an agenda for Gwembe. The New Dawn government will do everything possible to ensure that we reverse the underdevelopment trajectory that is there in Gwembe, to ensure that we bring even social amenities such as banks, filling station, and many other things that are not currently in Gwembe. We have an agenda to develop Gwembe, and the New Dawn government will definitely develop Gwembe.
On Know Your Constituency, we profile one of the most prominent constituencies in the country.
The constituency is facing a lot of challenges, but the major ones are, number one, poor road network, communication network, no financial institutions, no colleges, no electricity, and inadequate infrastructure in both education and health.
bayuthi nabonayika mulandu n'obwalwa nabanamayo bonse nabaponenamu nsunko obwalwa shena nashibonawula
ekyo ndeko nkomesha ndeko obuyantanshi kuno kwanga obuchinjeko kuno mukushi is a farm block and then mukushi notulali mako everything sana so no misevo poor road networks not challenge tukwete potuleshingwana na ena.
In Mukoshi we watch Parliament TV.
Watch Parliament TV, the TV that brings Parliament closer to our community.
Parliament TV kulia,
Keep watching Parliament Television. Keep watching Parliament Television, a station that brings Parliament closer to you.
Shane burongo ya